How Prudence, Proovit proved the truth about fairy tales. Once there was a girl who didn't believe in fairy tales. If Prudence Proovit couldn't prove it, well, it just wasn't so. Look, it looks like she's doing science. Prudence's parents, the professors, tutored her from dawn to dusk in their big stone house on the hill, declaring nursery rhymes for ninnies and fairy tales for fools. The professors filled Prudence with facts, tests at tea time, dictionaries at dinner. Alone in Tudor Tower, Prudence wished for curly hair, a dollhouse, and most of all, a sister. But alas, Prudence's wishes never came true. Prudence was the smartest girl in Lilyville and the most unhappy. She watched children laughing at the bus stop below and longed for Saturdays when she'd be set free from 2 until 3 to play with Susie Whiffle. Then one day, pleased with Prudence's progress, the professors announced an experiment. School. A real school with a real teacher, with my best friend Susie Whiffle. Prudence was overjoyed until the mail arrived. Dear Prudence, welcome to Lilyville School. I'm new here too. Hope you like fairy tales. Best wishes, Mrs. Beatrix Bliss, F.G. The professors rolled their eyes, but agreed to give school a try. Prudence wrote back, "Please, not that Snow White stuff. How about science instead?" Later, Prudence told Susie a well-known fact. "Fairy tales are for featherbrains, and I'll prove it." Now, Susie loved fairy tales, but Prue knew everything, so Susie spread the word to Lexi Ray, and Prudence got another postcard. "Ho, ho, Prudo, you sure aren't bashful. Why so grumpy? Are you sleepy? Happy wishes, S.W. and the D's." Who would that be? See that picture? Let's see if we can get the light better. There we go. S.W. and the D's. On opening day, Miss Bliss blew in and read Hansel and Gretel with gusto. And here's the clue for tomorrow. Who barged in for breakfast and broke the furniture? Here's another clue, Prudence began proving. Who's the original dumb blonde? Did you guess Goldilocks? Ding, ding, ding. Some kids laughed. Susie and Lexi looked sad. Can you tell which ones are Susie and Lexi? And look, there's the 3 little pigs on the wall, and there's a glass slipper. There's their teacher reading Hansel and Gretel. Even though she was insulted, Prudence complimented Susie on her clever writing. Oh, we need to read this. Dear Prunella, sorry about your hair, but don't blame blondes. Having more fun as always. Goldie and the Bees. Goldie and the Bees. Even though she was insulted, Prudence complimented Susie on her clever writing. Thanks, Prue, she said, but I don't know what you're talking about. Then who's been sending the postcards? Prudence proved on the playground. See any problems with glass slippers? Ever try climbing a bean plant? Miss Bliss approached her kindly. Fairy tales are good, Prue. A bit of believing makes wishes come true. Prudence remembered the curly hair, dollhouse, and sister. Wishes never worked for me, Miss Bliss. Maybe you forgot the believing part, Prue. A bit of that might work for you. Look, they're playing hopscotch. And they're swinging on the swings, going down the slide. Whoops, there we go. And playing catch, kicking the ball around. But when Miss Bliss read Riding Hood, Prudence grimaced over Granny. And couldn't that girl tell a woman from a wolf? Were her brains in that basket too? Everyone giggled, but Susie seemed sorry for Miss Bliss. See, look, there's another postcard. Listen, Prudence, I'm red. My brothers are grim. Please forego this fairy tale feud. L.R. Hood. There she is. Who is that? Yes, Little Red Riding Hood. L.R. Lexi Ray? Prudence was puzzled. She wished she could prove who was sending those postcards. Oh, look. It says, fairy tales are foolish. Science is cool. Ban Grimm and Aesop. Armed with buttons and banners, Prudence protested in the cafeteria. Okay, show your forks. Who's seen a frog in a crown? Pigs in construction hats? And excuse the bare fact, but couldn't that naked emperor feel a breeze? I don't think the other kids like what she's doing. Dear Prude, lighten up. I know about tower life. It helps to let down your hair. R. Ooh, who would that be? R for Ray. Lexi doesn't have a tower. Should I consult the professors? No, they might end the experiment, and school is such fun. The next day, Miss Bliss bubbled with news. A costume ball breakfast. Our fairy tale finale. You bring families, I'll bring goodies. The class cheered. Susie and Lexi passed notes about costumes. Prudence pressed forward. May I recite a poem? Why, certainly, dear. Fairy tales are stupid. Fairy tales are dumb. If you believe in fairy tales, your brain must be a plum. Miss Bliss gasped. Nobody laughed. Susie and Lexi whispered on the bus like best friends. Prudence felt lonelier than she ever had in Tudor Tower. Sure enough, she had mail. Little Miss Proovit, quit huffing and puffing, you're being a ham. Big B.W. and the oinks. Who would that be? You see that picture? Big B.W. Prudence was perplexed. She needed mightier minds. The professors paled at the postcards, then reddened with rage. That school is for simpletons. And then, when Prudence dropped the ball gently, the professors proclaimed it harebrained as Halloween. But seeing their daughter's dismay, they commenced costume research. See, look, Mom's reading a book called Costumes. And Dad's looking at the costume ball breakfast. And they're talking about what to wear to the breakfast. Prudence cried herself to sleep. I've lost Susie. Hurt Miss Bliss. The professors are ending the experiment, and someone's sending me postcards all over fairy tales. I wish I could believe. In the morning, a costume was waiting. There was a card on the windowsill. Oh, what is her costume? Dear Prue, A+ on the wishing. Now remember the believing part and have a ball. Miss Beatrix Bliss, F.G. P.S. F.G. is for Fairy Godmother. They've called me that since Cinderella. That pumpkin coach trick I did for Cindy was pretty clever, but I figured Prudence Proovit would want proof. F.G. stands for Fairy Godmother. Of course. And S.W. is for Snow White. Finally, it all made sense. Prudence laughed so hard, her hair curled. There's Miss Bliss at the window. Everyone stared as the Proovits entered the ball. You said fairy tales were dumb, Susie snapped. Fairy tales are real, Prudence pleaded. Then prove it, Lexi demanded. The crowd circled. Could Prudence prove it? Think. Prudence closed her eyes. Think. That's right, dear, Miss Bliss whispered. It's good to think and to wish. Now, just believe. Prudence heard her heart thump. Believe, believe, believe. You have all you need now, dear. The proof is in your pocket. Prudence opened her eyes. Now, did you see back here something I noticed? Look, she's putting something in her pocket right there. Ha-ha. I don't know if you noticed that. Prudence opened her eyes. There was Susie with fingers crossed. The professors proud as peacocks. The people Prudence Proovit loved, well, they believed in her too. So without a single doubt, she reached in her pocket and pulled something out. The postcards. The people of Lilyville oohed and oogled and argued like professors. In the end, they agreed. Fairy tales must be true because Prudence had mail postmarked Fairy Tale Forest. Cheers rose and rained like confetti on the girl who reigned at the ball. Prudence Proovit had proven the truth about fairy tales indeed. Miss Bliss winked. You are a prodigy, Prue. The professors wept. What a brilliant school. Susie said, Prue, you rule, and they went off for goodies. Best friends again. After the ball, Miss Bliss bid farewell. Another town needed her now. Sadly, Prue's new curls drooped straight. The dollhouse never came, but Prudence kept on believing. Finally, one day, her greatest wish came true. And while the professors danced in the tower each night like perfect ninnies and fools, Prudence Proovit is teaching her new baby sister the truth about fairy tales. Ha. See, look, there she is with her chalkboard. Red Riding Hood, Big Bad Wolf. And there's their bookcase. Fairy tales, heroes, Aesop, Grimm, animal tales, villains, princesses. See that? Looks like that's going to be Princess. There it goes.